Okay, so hello everyone. I'm back with another reaction video, and today I'm going to be reacting to a man known as Joseph Rogan. Um, he made these comments about video games, and admittedly, I've seen some of it on Twitter. But I think there's going to be more context in this full video, as the title suggests. Joe Rogan's full comments on kids playing video games. And by the way, I think it's so hilarious that out of all of his content, this is the one controversial thing he said that had he's taken the onus to go and make a separate video just talking about this specific this specific topic, and having the title be Joe Rogan's full comments on kids playing video games. That's just hilarious to me. That this is the thing that he said that is so controversial. But yeah, and by the way, I do want to mention that usually with these reaction videos, I react to people who obviously I don't know any of these people, but these are people who I perceive to be sort of, I don't know if they're bad people, but people that promote ideas that I find to be harmful. I don't really know that much about Joe Rogan. I don't follow him all that often. He seems to be a pretty decent guy. Sometimes he does platform people who I don't like, people like Ben Shapiro. But generally speaking, he doesn't seem to be that bad of a guy, so I don't have that much of a problem with Joe Rogan. I just think that this could be an interesting conversation to have. So let's just watch the video, see what he has to say, and yeah, let's go.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I found, I don't know if you agree with this, there were a ton of kids along the way growing up as I was building my business that would say, oh, I'm not into this, I'm not into that, kind of like you described yourself.
Yeah.
And they don't do anything because they're
Right.
looking for that thing. And I would argue, do something. Do fucking something until you find that thing.
Yeah, I've never been that kid though. I've always been into things. I always was into art, or I was into something. I always
I've definitely been that kid.
found things that I was interested in. Just none of them seemed like they were normal things that other people wanted to do for a living, like the path, like a career path. But I think that there's a lot of people that don't have any.
Don't do it, Joe.
There's no one. They're not.
Don't come after my
modeling
games.
their life after
He's doing it.
someone
He's going
that
for him.
they see that they admire, someone that's successful, someone that is doing something that they enjoy and love. Sometimes kids have to see that.
Right.
And if their parents are living a bullshit life and their neighbors live in a bullshit life and most of their family lives a bullshit life, they just fucking lay around,
Yep.
and then they seek refuge in drugs or video games or something that stimulates them.
See, I don't know if I like how Joe Rogan is putting video games in the same category as drugs. That to me is kind of a weird thing to do. And I mean, I guess I'm assuming he'll probably start talking about because I think I saw him talk about how addictive they are, and I assume that he's going to get into that. But I feel like to put video games in the same category as drugs is really weird to me, because yeah, of course video games can be very addictive, but I feel like video games are no more addictive than watching Netflix or being obsessed with any other entertainment medium, movies, TV. I feel like it's just another entertainment medium. I will say I think it's just kind of weird that video games are the entertainment medium that is I feel like it's specifically targeted as being addictive. And don't get me wrong, they definitely can be. There definitely are people who are probably who are sorry, there definitely are people who are addicted to video games, like especially with these like live service type games where like people just like just completely neglect all their responsibilities and just play these games like World of Warcraft and like I don't know, like Destiny, these like games as a service type games that just completely suck up your life and are kind of like a part-time job, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong, this stuff is definitely can be very addictive, but like to throw video games in the same breath as drugs, things that are like inherently addictive and like I know not all drugs, but like, you know, but like stuff like a lot of drugs that are just like inherently harmful for you. I feel like that's a little weird.
And video games are a real problem. They're a real problem. You know why? Because they're fucking fun.
Addictive.
And you don't. Yeah. Well, I have a real problem with them. And you do them, and they're real exciting, but you don't get anywhere.
Right.
It's like you could do like martial arts, right? You could learn jujitsu.
Okay, I'll let him finish this
You get
part.
obsessed
This is
by
the part that I've
jujitsu.
heard.
And then
it's
3 years
stupid.
later, you're like an elite jujitsu athlete. You're entering in competitions. You're a purple belt.
You're moving up.
Yeah, you're doing well.
Right.
You're thinking like I might be able to open my own school
Oh
one
my
day.
Got
gosh.
confidence.
Yeah, if I have 100 students and those 100 students are paying me X amount of dollars per month, I can make a living. Holy shit, I can have this would be
Okay, I mean, so first of all, I have like an inherent problem with like this attitude that like everything that you're doing has to like in some way like work towards your career or work towards like making you money or whatever. Like I have an inherent problem with that mentality. Like no, you should spend time just doing something that you enjoy, whether that be playing video games, watching movies, I don't know, reading books, like, because I mean that's the thing, right? Like, if you like, I would put like books honestly in the same category as movies or video games. Like, if you just spent all your time just reading books, like that is probably just as unproductive as spending all of your time playing video games, unless like the book is like, I don't know, like something that will help you in whatever career you're doing. But like if you're just spending all your time reading like not like fiction books, that is probably just as much of a waste of time as playing video games. But yeah, I don't know, I have a problem with this mentality of like everything that you do has to be like in some way furthering your career or whatever. Like it's honestly something that doing like YouTube that I've kind of struggled with, because like for a while like I would like neglect playing games because I was like maybe one day I'll like play this on my gaming channel. Link in the description, by the way, if you want to check that out. No pressure or anything, you know, just if you want to check it out, the link is in the description, you know, go over there, watch the video, maybe you like it, maybe you subscribe, you know. But I actually like went through a phase where like I just like wouldn't play games in my free time because I had this mentality of like, maybe one day I'll want to play that on the channel, so I'm not gonna play that. And that was just really really shitty, because like I just like at that point I wasn't playing games for fun. It was just a thing that I was doing to make YouTube content. And like that's at that point, because like my thing with YouTube is that I never want it to feel like an obligation. I always want to have fun doing it. And with my mentality towards video games and using it for YouTube content, at that point, well, I'm no longer allowing myself to have fun with video games. I'm just using it to I'm just using them to make content, and that's like not a good place to be in either. That's why like I also like I don't really do reviews on the channel, because it's like I just want to like watch movies and watch TV shows. Like I don't want to just like watch movies and TV shows just to then make content, you know. And I do it. I'll do it for like things that I like really enjoy, or things for, or like really big movies that come out, like Marvel movies and stuff. But like, you know, like for like stuff that I'm just watching because I enjoy watching them. Like I still want to have that in my life. So yeah, I like really disagree with his mentality here. And also, like, okay, I'm sorry, but like, what did he say? Jujitsu? Like, really, how likely are you to like become a jujitsu master and like open your own dojo? Like, really, how likely is it that that's gonna happen? Like, I feel like if you like had like an addiction to jujitsu, I don't know. I feel like that's also kind of a waste of time. But I don't know. Maybe I'm off base there. Like, I don't know. Like, how likely is it that your average person is gonna get addicted to jujitsu and like become an elite level like jujitsu fighter? I don't know. Maybe that is more probable than it would seem. But I don't know. That seems kind of silly to me.
Be amazing. And then you see your jiu-jitsu school, and your jiu-jitsu instructor has all these students.
Oh, and also like, what he's saying here, that like you can make a business out of being a jiu-jitsu fighter. There's actually like more than like any other entertainment medium, or any other like time waster that exists out there. There are actually opportunities to monetize you spending a lot of time playing games, right? You could do YouTube, you can do Twitch, and yeah, it's hard, and there's no guarantee that that you'll make it, and it may even be rare that you'll make it, but it is like a thing that you can aspire to do. And there's also esports, which is honestly like, I don't know, maybe I'm off here, but I'm assuming that you are just as likely to become like a professional esports player than you are to become a jiu-jitsu grandmaster. Like, I don't know.
Students, and drives a Mercedes, and he's got a nice family, and like, that's the future. This way you're doing something exciting and fun, and you don't. Or you could just be playing fucking video games. 3 years later, you could be that same kid just playing video games, waiting for the next whatever the fuck game is, next Xbox game to come out, and you're gonna waste your time.
You have children. I have children, and it's a big battle in the house. Yes. And my kids, I don't know if you're going through this, but my kids are now saying, "Well, Dad."
But I do want to say, like, I guess I still do agree that definitely, like, it definitely is possible to become addicted to playing games in the way that, like, you neglect all your other responsibilities. And, like, yeah, that I do agree that is a problem. And, like, if you find yourself in that position, then you definitely should you definitely should just find a way to manage your time well, or manage your time better.
This guy made all this money with this video game.
That's real too. That's
right?
real too now.
So like, that's 1 in a billion, kid. Like,
I don't know if it's 1 in a billion, but look, I heard the same argument about comedy.
Yeah, no, like, that's the thing, right? Like, obviously it's hard to become popular on the internet, but it's like, is it like any less hard than becoming a famous actor? Is it, or is it more difficult than becoming a famous actor, becoming a musician, becoming like I don't know, like a Broadway actor? I don't know, whatever. Like, and name any like creative job. I assume it's probably like just as. I assume it's like just as difficult as any of those professions, but like, like if someone's like, really going to like acting classes and really trying hard to become an actor, like, you generally aren't seeing people telling them like, stop wasting your time. Although actually maybe there probably is some sort of stigma to that as well. But probably not as much with video games.
My own parents were like, "Do you know how few people make it as a comedian?" I was like, "Okay, does anybody make it? Somebody makes it, right? They figure out how to do it. They make a living. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Just stop. Like I know what I'm doing." I was real lucky that my parents were not around very much, so I didn't get much advice. So I figured it out myself. So there was no one telling me I couldn't do it.
Got it.
So
Greenfields.
I was like, I'm gonna find my way through this, and since no one's telling me it's impossible, no one's telling me I can't. Occasionally, I would hear someone say, "What are the odds?" I'm like, "Listen, to this fucking loser." That's my thought. Was always like, that guy's a loser. Like if you think like that, you're a loser. But
All
there
right,
are
so yeah.
kids that make a lot of fucking money playing video games. But the thing is, like,
At least he seems
you
to
have to be
address that.
adaptable. You have to be able to play multiple video games because the one video game that you get really good at, what are the odds that's going to be around 5 years from now?
Right.
You know, like what's the big one now? Like Fortnite? Is that? Do they make
Fortnite.
money off of that? Yeah. Yeah. And then there's Call of Duty.
Call of Duty,
They make
yeah.
money off that. What's the big money? StarCraft used to be the big one, right?
That, League of Legends, Counter-Strike.
Counter Strike is it's still the Half-Life mod.
Yeah, variations of it have come out, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still basically the same.
Hey, Joe Rogan,
They
he's
don't make
got
money
some
off
gamer
Quake, though, right?
knowledge here.
Not really.
Nah, really.
No.
A couple, one or two guys do, I think.
Yeah. See, it's you got to pick the right game. You know, you could be
And what are you
obsessed
gonna do?
with the
But what are
wrong
you gonna do? You're
game.
gonna spend 5-10 hours a day in that
You
house.
have to.
Right.
You would have to.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Honestly, now like watching the whole thing. I mean, yeah, I will say I think I generally speaking, I think I pretty much agree with him. The only thing that I kind of I don't see eye to eye with him on it is the thought that like everything that you're doing like has to contribute to your career or whatever, and that you shouldn't just do things for fun. And I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit uncharitable to him. Like maybe he is just saying that like spending all your time on video games like in a way that is damaging isn't going to lead you to anywhere, whereas like spending all of your time when there is something to achieve, like that on the other hand can be okay, and that is, at least you have a goal, like however unachievable it may be, at least there is a goal in mind. So I don't know, maybe I was a bit uncharitable to him there, but overall, honestly, like watching all of his comments and, you know, the comments after the stuff that people were really upset about, I kind of don't disagree with him for the most part. Like, yeah, I'll definitely say this. This was nothing to get upset over. Like, people that just got really upset and were like really mauling over this, definitely those people are pretty ridiculous. Like, yeah, there was nothing in this to like really get upset over. And honestly, if you're someone who does who is addicted to video games, and or honestly, like, again, like not even just video games, whatever it is, like TV, like if you're someone, or social media, like if you're someone who's just like spending all of your time on something, then yeah, definitely go about seeing if maybe you can manage your time a bit better, and don't like, I don't know, like don't like neglect your responsibilities in order to just continue playing games all the time, watching Netflix all the time, scrolling through Twitter all the time. Like, yeah, there is definitely something to be said about that as well. So yeah, that was this Joe Rogan video. But yeah, I guess in conclusion, to just summarize everything that I want to get across in this video, it's okay to just have fun sometimes. You don't have to just be doing stuff to just constantly advance your career. Just make sure that whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be watching Netflix, playing video games, scrolling through social media, just make sure you're not neglecting your responsibilities. And yeah, I imagine that like Joe Rogan wouldn't disagree with anything that I'm saying. So yeah, I definitely think that people went a bit overboard in their reaction to this video, because it's honestly not that spicy of a take. It's pretty mild. So yeah, bye.